what matters more in pro wrestling, I think, because I remember before he like got to the building when we did our one-on-one, I was thinking like, man, I had this crazy idea to like jump off a balcony and like get the crowd going crazy. And then I didn't actually pitch that to him. Well, I think I did, and he was like, we don't need to do all that. We don't got to do all that.
Right.
And no, at the time, I got it a little bit, but like as these years have progressed, I truly understand what he means by that. You don't have to do all that crazy stuff to get a crowd invested in you, what you're doing in the ring. Having those facials, having that emotion, having that struggle, showing that fight, showing that you care, that they care. That's what really matters.
And welcome to another episode of the Project Get to Know podcast. My name is Emmanuel, and we have LVJ on this episode. Is that like an abbreviation of your name?
Yeah, it's abbreviation of my my shoot name. I don't like to give it out, but yeah.
No. If it's just a variation, that's completely fine.
Yeah, no, I'm a junior, so yeah. My real life initials are
we'll keep the 1/3. Yeah. So, let's jump into it. You've had a really, it's a meteoric year for you in 2025, and we'll delve right at the beginning of the year with Global Wars, with Ring of Honor. Like, how did that come about?
Yeah, we you know, being at MPX, we kind of get like little insights into AEW sometimes, and like I just heard rumblings. We were told rumblings about, hey, something big might happen the beginning of next year. You're like, you guys like stay in shape, keep training, get your body right, get your food right, try to be like the best you've ever been coming up at the beginning of the year. I know that was hammered into us, so I just kind of got to work, and then a select few of us, we were given that opportunity to go into Ring of Honor, do the Global Wars, MPX, Ring of Honor Global Wars, and just kind of like showcase ourselves. That they weren't, the squash matches that kind of happen sometimes when they bring in extra talent in Ring of Honor. We were given time, we were given moments to like showcase our characters, showcase how we move in the ring, and it was honest, it was a blessing, man, just to get that so early on in your career, to have an opportunity like that, to be on that wider stage. I can't thank MPX and Athena and Matthew Palmer enough to give somebody like me and like all my other fellow students, that opportunity. It was great. It was a great experience.
Because it's not just any opponent; it's with Shane Taylor Promotions, and
Yeah.
what's nice about having, and it's not like like there's another Texas State participant like Marty Snow. It was gone in like 2 minutes, and you had an actual match with them. And what was that like, having that experience from Shane Taylor Promotions and Carly Bravo and Sean Dean and all of these guys? What was it like working with those guys who's done so much in the business that that you've actually gained a lot of experience from them working through that match?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because early on in my career, I want to say maybe like a little over a year, I actually had a one-on-one match with Shane Taylor in Dallas.
Okay.
We've crossed paths before. I kept in touch with him here and there. Always give him good words of encouragement. He sees my stuff online. He likes it. So, we keep in touch. But with Shea Taylor Promotions, the whole group, I mean, that was my first time interacting with Carly Bravo and Sean Dean, and those guys are great, man. The process, doing the match. I mean, they treat us with respect. They want us to get our shit in too. They had to get their shit. They're the signed talent, so they got to get their stuff in as well. But they weren't just pushing us to the side and like telling us what to do. They want to know our stuff. They want us to get our stuff in and give us our shine too. And just kind of like how to work that balance of working that camera, trying to get all your stuff in like in the time. I kind of learned how they go about their process like week to week, just in that little time frame. They're great people. All four of them. Trisha Dora as well. She was great as well, and Jaden Taylor Promotions. And that was a great experience. I mean, I'd love to get in the ring with them again if there's ever an opportunity. It was fun. just maybe next time, maybe we come out on top, maybe, just maybe.
And make it more a bit longer. You're like, can I get 10 instead of like 7.5 minutes? But
Yeah, but it was
I will
like
ask,
six. It was like 6 minutes. Yeah, I know. It was.
is it?
Yeah, I mean, we had more time. We had more time. We were told we had more time, but then like as the match was going, they're just like, "Hey, we gotta go. We gotta go. Our time got cut."
Ah, so it was beyond your control at
Mhm.
that time.
We gotta do what the booker says. If it's time to go, it's time to go.
What's the difference facing Shane Taylor then as your first time facing him to now?
Uh, oh well, one was a one-on-one, so a lot more
Okay.
personal. Going over stuff. This is a tag. I don't even know if we touched in the ring. But I would say just me on a personal level, I have a better understanding of like what I want to be as a pro wrestler and kind of how pro wrestling works in a sense, like what what matters more in pro wrestling. I think because I remember before he like got to the building when we did our one on one, I was thinking like, man, I had this crazy idea to like jump off a balcony and like get the crowd going crazy, and then I didn't actually pitch that to him. Well, I think I did, and he was like, "We don't need to do all that. We don't got to do all that.
Right.
You'll get them going crazy by me kicking your ass, and you still getting up and you fighting and clawing to get up." And at the time, I got it a little bit, but like as these years have progressed, I truly understand what he means by that. You don't have to do all that crazy stuff to get a crowd invested in you and what you're doing in the ring. Having those
Mm.
facials, having that emotion, having that struggle, showing that fight, showing that you care, that they care. That's what really matters.
Yeah, because what's nice too is because Shane Taylor has been such a he has like a wellspring of like advice that he gives a lot, even like on socials. It doesn't have to be wrestling necessarily, but like life stuff in general. Like, was there ever a trend that he always gives you, whether you faced him for the first time or see him in the locker room during the Ring of Honor MPX Global Wars?
Uh, I'd just say, we don't have a lot of like, I don't do a lot of, we're not as close, but like,
Mm,
mutual respect. But I would say he always, tries to make sure that the moments he does have, he gets the most out of them. You know,
okay.
in that match, I mean, he came in real quick, but he had that moment. He has Kari in the corner, and Sean's telling him to get the camera on for that big chop he always does, and that's a
Mm,
moment, and that gets clips, and you see him on social media, and that's how he can stay relevant even if the match is only 6 minutes. That's how you still know what's going on in Shane Taylor Promotions. When you have limited time, you got to figure out how can I be one of the most important things on the show, even in this limited time. I think that's what him and Shane Taylor Promotions have like really capitalized on from afar from what I see in Ring of Honor. They're always on social media. There's always something that they do in a match that gets posted and that gets some sort of traction.
because what's nice too is even though that match was short, like how did you realize to maximize those minutes without really going over that time limit? And how would you like really capitalize on the time that you've had in such a short span of time?
Well, when we were putting it together, it's like really like, hey, everyone on our team really only gonna have like one little sequence. You're really only gonna have one sequence. So whatever you want to do in that sequence, make sure it counts. With me and Ishandi, I did a little thing where I flipped over him and then I like patted his head. I was talking
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
cool. And I was like, that just showcases who I am, my personality in the ring. I'm a bit of an asshole. I'm a bit of a cocky
Yeah.
dickhead. And like that's me. That's what I do on the indies. And if I only have maybe 30 seconds to show it on Ring of Honor, I mean, that's how I'm going to show it. Even if I'm a baby face, I'm still cocky. I still think I'm better than
Right.
you as a wrestler. It don't matter who you are.
And confidence just plays a long way too, to where like you can be a face, but like you still have that dog in you because like I'm not going to be a pushover. I'll do something about it, and knowing that okay, I know what's expected within this match to play your part, to what you need to do, and like if you did your part, like those minutes will fly by very quickly.
Mhm. Yeah, no, that match. Yeah, no, that match did fly by really quickly. Like we got to the part with Riza and they were scrapping, and then I just out of nowhere I see the rest of the team come over and pull us off the apron. I'm like, oh dang, what we doing? what's going on? And then I just see Reese getting pinned. I was like, oh, it's over. Oh, dang.
What was it like after?
It was awesome. We went to the back. They came up to us. They were like, hey, they were like, sorry, like the time got. They were really apologetic about the time getting cut, but it was like we understand how it works. I mean, we've all been in it long enough. We understand how it works. But they were
Mhm.
really complimentary of like us being professionals and like, you know, making sure that we stuck to our times. And yeah, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. They like were really, really, really appreciative of us like being respectful of the time that we were given, and like our time getting cut short, and like us just like following along and making sure that we didn't hinder like the overall process of the show.
Yeah, because I think with like the stuff within TV wrestling is you're confined within those moments, and you have to figure, okay, let's see how we're gonna do it. We're gonna figure things out, and when Tony or whoever is in the back in Gorilla, it's like, hey, we need to get this done. It did take time for you to adapt when they say, hey, let's go home, and it's like, what time is it?
No, I was just on the apron. I'll be honest. I mean, I was on the apron. They pulled me off. They said stay down. I said, all right, guess it's done.
I'm stuck.
I
Because
said, I was
I
like,
think
I
what's
was like,
nice,
I knew it was gonna be quick, but dang.
it's like where to go. Because what's nice about being in that preview of like the well, ROH is it is a sister promotion with AEW, but seeing that big stage, did you really have that opportunity in open arms, or you were kind of like, let's just roll with it. Let's make sure that um, I know my P's and Q's to know that, okay, this is what I'm going to do in my part during that match in particular.
Yeah, I mean, walking in at first, you like this probably like one of the I realize it's one of the bigger things I've ever done in my career.
Okay.
Walking in there, I mean, it's a really cool venue. It's a really nice looking venue. But I mean, once it was time to go, it's time to go. I kind of get in a different mode. I
I
like to be
see.
I like to be a professional. I like to make sure that everything that I'm supposed to do goes as smoothly as it can be. I like to do my part, and like when I'm supposed to be out there getting the crowd fired up, being that baby face. I mean, if you saw it, you saw me in that entranceway. I was trying to get that crowd hype, trying to get us up for set six.
Yeah.
Set six, even though I ain't a part of set six, so I'm gonna be a part of set six tonight.
Hmm. Yeah, because and Dallas on its own, and seeing the home crowd, and and it is in Dallas. Like, were there any of the locals who are like, oh shoot, I think I've seen you so many times at MPX, but seeing them watching you at an ROH show, is it different or is it about the same?
In what way? We
So, like, I mean, because it's a bigger stage, it's a larger crowd. Like, when the fans noticed you or whatever capacity, like, oh, I think I've seen you in so many MPX shows. Was the vibe different compared to something
uh
that is weekly, like an MPX?
uh yeah, I'd say it's better that though it is in Dallas, because I mean there were a lot of people who were at MPX. I mean, it was an MPX advertised show. So I mean,
Right.
like it's a lot different than if we were in like Oklahoma and they just saw us come out, and
Yeah.
they don't know who any of us are really, because they don't watch MPX. So I mean, having that home crowd there, I mean, it definitely helped the atmosphere. They were chanting for us early at the start.
Hmm.
They were giving us our flowers when we were in the ring, cheering us on. So I thought that was dope. I mean, I remember the first match. It was like it was Surf and Turf. It was Kaimi and Phil Shark versus Brian
Hmm.
Keith and Big Bill, and they were going crazy for Surf and Turf, and for a good reason, because they killed it in that match. That
Yep.
match, if you've never seen that match, I would give that match a look on Watch Ring of Honor. I mean, that match is really really fun. They did a great job.
Yeah, because I think having that home crowd does make it. Because yeah, you're right. If it was in another state, like yeah, Oklahoma's like an hour
Yeah,
from
I
Dallas, it
mean, we're
would
gonna
have
come
been
out. We're
different.
gonna come out to crickets.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's nice to know that like later on we had some time in between. And I had this with Biss on the Texas 8 episode. We'll talk about your time there with New Texas, but the one thing that stood out during that conversation is people were going to San Francisco for West Coast Pro. You were the first one one of the first ones to step up saying, I'm ready to take this opportunity. And going out of state for this year, you mentioned there's another time that you've had in Arkansas, but for this year, going to San Francisco, going to a different state, different atmosphere, different time zone, literally, to be in West Coast Pro. What was that like to be part of something that's outside of Texas?
It was a great experience, really. I mean, that's probably maybe the first time I've ever done something like that. I spent a week out, like on my own, just
Okay.
by myself, in California. Um, it's funny because how that started was I was just gonna go out there and train with West Coast. I talked to
Oh,
one of the West Coast guys, Jai Jewel, when he was up here for New Texas, and I was just like, hey man, like, I want to come out and train like a week of a show and like just be there, train with you guys, meet people, and like maybe get on something. But as that was going on, this just hits me up for like maybe a week or something before I'm booking my
okay.
flight, and he's just like, "Hey, can you get to San Francisco for one of these Monday shows?"
So it's impromptu.
Yeah, can you get there for one of these Monday shows? And I'm just like, "This, I'm already gonna go to Cal. I was already gonna go." So I mean, yeah, I'd love to do the show. So
Okay.
I can go through the whole time. Monday I do that show. I get positive reviews. There's always something you could fix when you're wrestling. Nobody's
Mm.
perfect, but for the most part, generally good reviews on like how I was wrestling, how I was looking. I stayed there. I stayed there for the week. First I stayed with the West Coast Pro Champion Vinny Massaro.
Yeah.
Stay with that. Stay with the old Italian uncle, old Italian uncle. He lives so far from where they train. I was. If I had to do that drive, I would have passed out because I did have to
How
drive.
long is it? I'm
It's
curious.
like 2 hours. It's like
What?
2 hours.
Okay.
And I remember one day I did drive from the training to his house, and I was falling asleep on the road.
You could have slept.
Yeah, you know how like the long drives when you're going from maybe like San Antonio to Dallas, it's like you might start falling asleep. I was doing that already in California because I was jet lagged. I was
Oh
already
my
jet lagged. I'd
God.
already been wrestling. I was that was the first night was really bad.
You were gone. You're gonna train that same day, I bet.
Oh, and that yeah, and no, that was the first. No, that was on Monday. Yeah, I remember. It was Monday.
Okay, okay, okay.
I did the match. I did the Monday show. Then I drove to Vinny's house by myself at first, and I almost passed out on the highway. Tuesday, Tuesday, I think Tuesday or Wednesday we trained, but I remember one day I just had a free day. I drove out to Sacramento, and I got sick. Got sick.
Oh my
So
God.
I'm walking around, and then I'm just like, you know what, I can't do it anymore. I just lay in my car for a couple of hours right
Hmm.
after I walk around Sacramento. Another day, I'm doing training with the West Coast guys. They're all great. Andrew Cass, Miko Alana, Sweet Caroline was there. Those are all my West Coast homies. Cairo Leon, that's another one. Those are all my West Coast homies. Shout out to them. They was treating me right while I was down there. And then the back half, I stayed with Jai Jewel. I stayed at his place. And
Hmm.
Jai is one of the best people who I've ever met, bro. He's one of the kindest people, one of the most funniest people. If you could ever meet somebody in wrestling, meet somebody like Jai Jewel. That guy is one
Yep.
of the best. I don't know if you've ever got a chance to have you ever met Jaya?
I went to New Texas, but I got to know him more at Death in the Family. He is like the most sweetest person to
Yeah.
have a conversation with. I'm like, I was like, because growing up from the East Coast for me, it's like, like whenever someone's kind, my brain turns. I was like, what do you want? Like, but like,
Nah,
he's genuinely wants to have a conversation with you.
yeah, he's one of the most genuine people I've ever met in wrestling. That
Yeah.
guy he's amazing, and he's a great wrestler, great talent. If you could ever get Jad on your show, make it happen. He is going to be a great
Hmm.
asset to the locker room and a great asset to the show in general.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go like that. Because what's nice too is like, I'll say this to someone who's out of state, and wrestling is going to be 4 ring posts, the apron, the mat, the plank boards, and the tarp that's covering everything. To be in California, and you've had your style, you know what to do in Texas. Was the transition the same? Was the transition you had to learn from from those guys in California to be on the same page with them?
Um, a little. They do things a little different, but I mean, if you like wrestling is kind of like universal. Like it,
Right.
if you're smooth in the ring, you can kind of pick it up on the fly and kind of just like match how the people are going. And just to continue like the timeline, because I did get a match that show that they ran on Saturday. I want to say Saturday they had a show, and I was in a pre-show match with Andrew Cass. I'd say we had
Right.
like 6 minutes, and it was kind of just a sprint. We are just kind of going, hitting the beats, and I did pretty good. I know Scotty gave me good rap. Aaron Solo gave me pretty good advice on it too. They said they like what they saw. So all that to say is I took a chance by going out to California. I didn't know how I was gonna shake out. I could have been terrible. I could have been terrible. I
Okay.
wasted hundreds of dollars just going out to California. But I had a belief in myself that I knew I was ready for that stage in my career to go out and to go like on a whim, go out to West Coast Pro and try to make a name and try to become a staple there. Cause that's what it's all about. You could stay in Texas. A lot of people do that. They stay in Texas,
Hmm.
but to actually make it in this business, you want to go out to these West Coast. You want to go out to St. Louis Anarchy. You want to go out to Pride Style. You want to go out and you want to make a name for yourself there. You want to turn the people who have no idea who you are, and then when they see you on a flyer, they're excited to go to that show because they see an LVJ.
Hmm. And how much of Texas do you have that you always bring? Whether in this case with California, how much of Texas did you bring on those shows?
I came out in a Houston Astros jersey. Yeah, I came out in this nice Astros jersey, just to really ham it up. People hate the Astros, so I want them to hate me. If there's one thing that they were going to give me entrance right away is like we should boo this guy. He likes the Astros.
That's like the most like below the belt thing that you can do, and it's like, well, there it is. But having that experience in San Francisco when you flew back, um, and you mentioned how much of an experience that you have. What was that like coming back to Texas with all of the time that you've had in San Francisco?
I felt like I realized that I didn't have to stay in Texas. I realized I could go out to these different cities, these different states, and I could become a mainstay on other people's rosters. Like
Right.
I bring enough that's different from what everyone else sees to where you want to like bring me back. And I mean, I'll
Hmm.
let you know right now. They're gonna do Monday shows again in May, and you're probably gonna see me there again. You're probably gonna see me there again
Hmm.
because I want to be something that's consistent for West Coast Pro.
Yeah, and it's just showing up, and it's that saying of like showing up is 90% of everything, and that 10% could be anything that's out of the ordinary. And to know that you're flying back back here in this case in Dallas, but New Texas kind of came around where Kiefer's like, "Hey, do you want a shot?" Like, where did that partnership and when did your like beginnings are within New Texas?
Yeah. So I want to say last year was kind of tough for me. I started out. I want to say maybe the first 4 or 5 months. I was dealing with an injury. And
Mhm.
you probably know like when people get injured, it's easy for people to kind of like out of sight, out of mind. So people maybe forget about what you were doing or like all the progress you made. You kind of have to kind of start from square one. You kind of start at zero, kind of got to work your
Yeah.
way back up. I mean, I want to say I had done some stuff with Inspire before I got hurt, and I had done a couple of things with New Texas, but I mean, I was gone for a little bit, and then the stuff with Inspire happened. Biz split. Um, Biz split. He went off to New Texas, and
Hmm.
in my time away, I realized like New Texas is big. New Texas is gonna get big. New Texas is growing. New Texas is becoming that premier spot in Texas wrestling. When you go out of state, that's the name I hear the most is oh, you're from Texas? Do you work with New Texas? Like, yeah,
Oh.
genuinely like that's a promotion that's getting like word of mouth around the country now.
I
But,
see.
I realized that as I was away. So when I came back, I know I wanted to be on that stage as well. I wanted to be recognized there. So I hit up JJ, I hit up Kiefer, and they were like, "Hey man, you just got to come you got to do the contender series." You know, they have to see me. I had to go do I don't know how many, but I just remember grinding on the contender series, and it's a great place to grind up in that the no AC Houston Premier Arena.
Oh,
Is,
yeah,
that is a
that's
great
a venue.
that is a great place to grind in and get your reps in. It's gonna test you. And I was working there. I was working there, and I remember after every show, I'd always make sure to get feedback from JJ and Kiefer, and they always let me know like what I was doing wrong, what I was doing good. They let me know that I was progressing. Every time they saw me, I was improving and getting better and better. And Biss had already worked with me a little on Inspire, so he had a little bit of trust
Right.
in me. But it's always about getting that trust from you gotta get trust from everybody. Everybody's gotta buy in. And so I was just working my way through contenders, and then sure enough, to end the year, I got a shot uh on a new Texas show, and then we've just never looked back.
Yeah, because I think one of the shows that stood out to me was the tag match. It was White Elephant and Maya, and I at the time I thought she was going to be working another show, but then suddenly, like you know what happened with her, she became all elite
Yeah.
within that show. And what's nice about that too is, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, if if this is the question. Did Maya bring you along with that tag match when you worked with Jasmine Allure and with Johnny Robbie?
Uh Bring me like did she she like asked them if like I could be the tag partner?
Yeah, I think because this
Well,
is like the
in
I
the
have to
show before, we had like formed a faction. It was me, her, and Cuddy.
right,
Me, her, and Cuddy.
right.
Yeah. So I mean, it was I can't remember exactly the details. It was either going to be me or Cuddy in that match, and then it ended up being me and Cuddy got the match with Danny and with Starboy and with Jesse.
Yeah, yeah, because
Uh,
I think good, good.
yeah, no, but to your point, I mean, you know, Maya has always been somebody who I hear from promoters has always been the one behind the scenes, kind of like always advocating for me, always telling promoters like how good I am. Hey, you should have LVJ on your show. LVJ is really good. Just need to see LVJ work. He'll make the show better. So I mean, she's one of my best friends. I've known her since I've got into the wrestling business. So for her to do that, I mean, I always appreciate. She doesn't have to do that. She's signed. She's all elite. But to go out of her way to tell these promoters like to still like take a look at me, I mean, that does mean a lot to me, and I do appreciate that. I don't appreciate how she just that thing in Vegas, she just kind of sprung that on me. I had to
Oh.
I don't know if you saw the show, but I need her in the face. I didn't I didn't appreciate what she's been doing recently. She got a new tag partner. She hasn't returned some of my calls or my texts. She just sent me that to like get on a plane to Vegas so we could have the match. So I didn't really like that. I didn't really like the attitude change. So I just
Mm.
took her back. But it's all love still. It's all love. Still, I promise.
And I'll ask this. I'll compare it to what you mentioned about capitalizing on on minutes and time. And this is a longer span. And this isn't just like a 6 minute back and forth. This was a bit longer. What difference does it make for you to go through a match that's a bit longer compared to something that's like an ROH with a Global Wars?
You mean like with the tag match?
Yes.
Yeah, with the tag. Um, my thought process going to that tag match was, people are here to see Johnny Robbie. People are here to see Johnny Robbie. People are here to see Maya World. People are here to see Jasmine Allure. So my goal is to be an asshole, to be a dickhead, and to ruin whenever they're up. I mean, I'm just gonna bring them down. That's exactly what
Mm-hmm.
they had their moment. They were up. They were cheering on the crowd. It was very cold, by the way, very cold in White Elephant.
Yeah. I know
Um,
that feeling.
they were up, and I just knocked them down, and that was my mindset, really, really, to still be that asshole. You guys want to see these women like put on a show, but no, this is my show. This is my moment.
Right.
I'm in the ring with the West Coast Pro Women's Champion. I'm in the ring with all elite Maya world, but I don't care. This is my moment. I'm an asshole. I'm gonna take that spotlight.
Mhm.
I'm gonna shine it on myself.
Yeah, because it's kind of nice because like you were a disruptor, and that's the nice thing about matches like that is someone has to someone has to step up. Someone has to be that center of attention, and for you to capitalize on those minutes, which leads us to like the Texas 8. But before I even do that, I was gonna ask this too, like going back to Global Wars and Ring of Honor and MPX. And I always think, because I had Demo on, I had Cavens on, I had those two on, but part of the influence of what you're doing things in the ring is with Matthew Palmer and Athena. And for them to say, like they're instilling all this wisdom in you, what was it like having someone who's, like I mentioned with Shane Taylor, like someone who's had the experience in this case with Athena, with WWE and with AEW, and Matthew Palmer, who's been all over the place in the indies?
Yeah, I no, I didn't start out with Palmer and Athena, but I will
Okay.
wholeheartedly say that spending my time with them, they have made me like into such a better professional wrestler. They're things and the nuances, the little things about professional wrestling that I would say that in my first few years I wasn't picking up on, I wasn't understanding. I just had a
Okay.
different mindset about pro wrestling, but spending my time with them, I was in the ring more. I was watching film more. And just having that experience that they have more around the world, more on TV, they have a better understanding of like when you have that limited time, or like what matters more when you're trying to connect with an audience. It's not just always
Mm,
about your moves. You do want to have good moves to stand out, but you also need to have the little things like your facial expressions, your attitude in the ring, and make you stand out, and that make you different. So I've learned so much insight into professional wrestling because of those two. And I would also say like around the time that I started training with them, I was like in a slog, maybe in like a little bit of like a low state. My passion wasn't as strong, I feel like. And training with them, I mean, I've never had more fun in professional wrestling than I do
okay.
now, I want to say, honestly.
Yeah, because I think what's nice too, and was that like a more recent training with them? Like, what was your benefactors leading up to Matthew Palmer and Athena?
I started out at DFW All Pro Academy with
Okay.
Lugatti. I started there, and I was there until I want to say I still showed up here and there last year. But I want to say about the time like June of last year, I started at MPX. I was doing both, and then more recently I've really just been at MPX. And
Okay.
it's no shade to DFW All Pro at all. I have love for a lot of the people there. I still talk to a lot of people there. I still have love for all my former coaches, current. Um, so I have love for Lou Gotti and all he does for wrestling, what he tries to do, what he imparts. I mean, he's very intelligent. He has a very good mind for
Mm.
wrestling. Like, there's nothing wrong with coming to DFW All Pro. It will make you into a great wrestler. He is the reason why I am a great wrestler, why I have such great footwork, why I have such great technique. But it's just different at MPX. Is like that's the best way I could say. It's different, and for what I needed to get to the next level, I felt like MPX is what has made me be a better wrestler.
Okay, cool. You just answered my next question. Good. Let's move on. So throughout that time too, and we talked about the Texas 8 Pride. Kind of had a little inkling of it, and it wasn't easy. And the qualifier match at the MPX show, that was like early. No, it was like March. Is that March? You think? What was that?
It was like the week right before the tournament.
Okay, so late March. So like
Yeah.
right late March. It's like March. Yeah, it
It
was late
was like the
March.
last week of March.
Yeah. So it's kind of because the Texas 8 has changed a lot since the first show. And this qualifier, and what's nice about this too is hopefully they'll do this next year. So please, Biss, Kiefer, yeah, let's do more
Yeah.
qualifiers for the
Yeah. How about you
cities.
don't make me just the only person that have to have a qualifying match? Let's have everybody do some qualifying matches, right? Yeah, that's a good idea. Let them know.
So it's kind of nice. It's not just it's just not any Dallas wrestler. And X, of course, you've seen him all over the place. His praises and accolades are pretty much big, and he's done the Texas 8 last year. And coming into this match, and as you guys were running through this match, and what were some of those stakes for you as you faced him leading up to that qualifier match?
Oh, I really treated it as a tournament match in it of itself, really. It was a qualifying match, but to me, I mean, I'm facing somebody who represented our city last year. So to me, felt like I was already in the tournament, and I had to face a really tough test. There's a reason he was picked. There was a reason he was probably going to be picked again this year if I didn't step up and say something. He represents Dallas. I mean, he's been doing it for such a long time at such a great level. So for me, going into it was like, can I hang? Can I actually back up all the stuff was I saying? Am I really on that level? And as the match was going on, I definitely felt like I was keeping pace. I was
That's
performing
good.
well. And at the end, I thought we had an amazing match. I thought we told a great story. And but I thought the better wrestler came out on top.
Because I think representing Dallas, and I had Decimus on a conversation, being in Dallas, and we've seen the crop of what wrestling has given from the city. The Von Erichs, Athena. I can name two other wrestlers, but I will blank if I do say that. But to have Dallas on your back during the Texas 8, what was that like to carry that burden and to know that I represent the Metroplex?
It's a lot. I mean, there's so many there's so many talented people in the city of Dallas and in Fort Worth. A lot of them thought they deserve to represent Dallas, and that's fair. I mean, you can have your opinions, you can have your takes, you can think you're the best wrestler in Dallas and DFW, but when it comes down to it, I mean, the proof's in the pudding. I mean, do you do all the networking that I do? Do you take the chances that I've taken? Are you going to spend hundreds of dollars to go out to California just for an opportunity, just for a shot, not knowing if you're going to be guaranteed anything? A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people are going to stay in their lane and they're going to think that these opportunities, they deserve them and they're just going to fall in their lap. I know that a lot of people do this. Let's just say I've heard some stuff. I've heard some things, and I know how a lot of these people think. They think that they just deserve that these opportunities to work hard. You have to work harder than everybody else. You have to think. You have to have the mindset that nothing is going to come to you in this business because this business doesn't owe you anything. You have to go out and take it, and that's something that I learned. That's something that I started to do, and that's why I went up to Biz. That's why I talked to Biz, and I was like, "Hey, man, I want to represent Dallas. I think it's time. I think it's my time. I think that I've worked hard enough. I think that you put everything together. You put everything together. You put my work, you put my promo skills, you put the outreach that I've been trying to do, you put together me trying to go out and make a name for myself just outside of Texas. And I think I'm the best person to represent Dallas at this time. And I mean, he agreed. I mean, he put me in the match with Exodus and I showed I can go toe to toe with somebody who a lot of people recognize as the best. And I beat the best.
And throughout that Texas 8 experience, and looking back into it, and being part of this tournament, and last year happened. A lot of the guys who are there have done more things since this tournament. What do you think of your experience in the tournament being into the Texas 8?
I think it's special. I think it's pretty special. It's not every day that you can get all corners of Texas together for one night of wrestling.
Right.
There were a lot of different styles, which was great. That's what the tournament like that should be. It should showcase every region's style and what they preach and what they practice. Um,
Mhm.
not to toot my own horn, but I think me and Jesse probably had match of the first round. We had match of the first round.
Yeah.
I think Bosby and Jesse was really good. I think the underdog story that was told in Jesse versus Timor, I thought that was really good as well too. Um, but for my money, I think if the tournament was structured a different way, I don't think you would have seen me gotten out in the first round.
Who did you want to see anyways? I'm curious.
Ollie Summers, Marty Snow.
Ooh. That would have been good too.
You
Like
know,
if you pictured the final, I'll you can do this two ways. You can put yourself in the final, or if you want to place that final, what would that be?
uh, I thought, uh, I thought the final was good. I thought the final
Okay.
that came out, I thought that was a good final. Knowing Bosby a little bit more, I think Bosby would have been great in the finals. I thought he had a really good tournament showing. Um,
For what was the experience like of having like a tournament style show, like a Texas 8? Like do you know like at least what the ins and outs are and what to do in a tournament style tournament, or you're like I want to learn more on what tournament wrestling is?
no, I've had a show where I was in a tournament. It was a little different. They weren't all one on ones. It was like I did one fatal four way, and then I did another did three fatal four ways.
Okay.
And I think I also did a battle royal. It was a long show. I did a lot that night. No, I'm used to tournament wrestling. I would have liked to have gone further. That is one thing. I put myself in the finals just so the fact that I could say I wrestled three singles matches in one night because I think it's fun. It tests your mental, it tests your physical as a wrestler, how you prepare, how you stay ready, different strategies, different ways you can go about the match. That's what I love about tournament wrestling. You can tell so many different stories. You can tell a story
Hmm.
throughout all three matches if you want, but just depending on who you're facing, you can tell a David versus Goliath. You could tell a same stylist fight. You tell a lucha versus a grappler versus a striker, a technical versus just a power brawler. I mean, there's so many ways you can go about it, and you could be all of those things. Just depends on who you're going against. So if the one reason why I would have wanted to be in the final is so I could have done that three singles matches in one night. That would have been fun.
Oh my gosh, you would have been gassed, but you're like the adrenaline is probably rushing
Oh,
through you
yeah, I
within
mean, I
those.
I would've been tired of the night, but going through it, I'm probably just, thinking about the matches and, just making sure everything goes right with all that.
And you wrestled in Vegas recently, and um, it's in WrestleMania. I mean, like that's probably the biggest stage of it all. But to have these pods of these indie shows, and seeing like, and it's kind of going back to going to California and San Francisco. Is the stage bigger compared to what you've done in San Francisco?
No, I would say what I did in San Francisco is just probably a little bigger just 'cause that was me taking a chance. That was me taking a chance, just trying to, like, prove a name. I was by myself. Biz
Mm,
is put in a good word, but like I gotta put in the work. I gotta
right.
when the bell rings, I gotta show out and I gotta prove why I should be out here. You know, so those were probably a lot more stakes for me there doing San Francisco, doing it solo. Vegas was just a fun time. It was a new Texas
Okay.
show.
Okay.
It was a new Texas show in Vegas. T- yeah, I mean that's kind of just business as usual. Also, I'm also used to
Right.
flying out at this point, so like yeah, I was just going to a different venue, going to a different venue, but still just having a show, trying to have fun, trying to make everything make sense, trying to have good moments.
Because what's nice too, because I did see your match. I was like, man, this was. It's a different like vibe watching it in YouTube, and to know that, like how much of placing that flag that you're doing, whether it's in San Francisco or in Vegas, how does that really make you getting your word out there past Texas?
Oh, that's everything. I mean, that's how it used to really. I mean, you had to make these towns. You had to go out of state
Mm,
if you want to get recognized on like a national scale. With social media, it's a little easier for people to kind of stay in their own lane, stay in their bubble, and just kind of get
Yeah.
word of mouth travel through that way. But I like doing it this way. Going out there trying to be mainstays like in an Ohio or in a California, as well as doing my stuff in Texas. That's the fun part about being an independent wrestler to me. You have the freedom to do you
Yeah.
have to do whatever you want. You have the freedom to go wherever you want and to try to be popular wherever you want.
What are those dream venues for you?
Uh, Being actually on a West Coast graphic for sure. That's definitely a goal. I saw recently Shimbashi is the first person to be a part of every show of the new collective. So he's done,
Wow.
yeah. So he's done Anarchy, he's done Action, he's done New Texas, he's done West Coast. I'm missing one. I feel like I'm missing one.
Pride style? Did you do Pride style?
Pride, yeah, he did Pride Style. So he's done all
Okay.
five. So I mean, that's the type of time I'm trying to be on. I'm trying to be there next. I want to be one of the first 10. One of the first 10 to do all of it.
Yeah, that's good. Cause like besides like the collective and
Oh,
like what
sorry.
are
And also AIW in Ohio. Shibashi's told me a lot about them.
okay.
Yeah. That's what I want
Okay,
pretty soon
gotcha.
here.
Got okay, got it. So like so just those, or is there like something that you would like to just throw the pebble into that stream? Like is there any state in particular or just within those confines of the collective?
Um yeah, no, it's kind of just like you want to always like, cuz you want to go where it's, there's a connection obviously.
Right.
You Through that avenue where that channel is, because it's a little bit easier when you're trying to go to a foreign destination, if there's always like at least something that connects you there. Like
I see.
a promoter can reach out to the promoter and be like, hey, he's with us, he's good people, just give him a shot. Let him show you what we see all the time, you know what I mean? So at the start, when you're a name that's predominantly in Texas, those are probably the first places you want to go to, because you have a little bit of some backing, a little bit of support that can help get your foot in the door at least. And then if
Yeah.
I start doing stuff in California, then those promotions in Vegas and those other California promotions can see that, and they may want to take a chance.
Hmm.
So it's like I look at it sort of like a spider web,
Yeah.
that all
And
these
it's
things kind
just
of
connecting the dots.
yeah, all these things just branch out and connect one by one, but you do want to start somewhere where the connections already been webbed together.
I see. That's cool. And we're going to be close to wrapping up, but like the one thing that I enjoyed seeing you in ring is you have retro colors, which is very cool. It's not just the Phoenix Suns from today; it was from the '90s. You
Yes,
had
yeah.
the Supersonics from when in time and memoriam. It's like the '90s. Sorry, youngins. That's how far back those colors are.
My
Um,
Miami Heat
to,
gear, it's based off their 90s gear too.
oh, the Pat Riley era.
Yeah, yeah. That red, I have
Oh,
like the old school logo like on. Yeah, I mean, I think the '90s stuff is just more creative. Like it's like
yeah.
that's just a trend of like modern society. Like stuff has just like kind of gotten dumbed down. Like you see it in fast food places all the time with McDonald's and stuff. It's everything's like sort of just spiced. There was a lot more artistic creativity in the '90s and stuff. So I like to take that into my gear.
Yeah, what was like your favorite one?
Oh, my favorite one might be this new one. This new one because it's inspired by the Eagles. It's the Kelly Green. It's the Kelly Green Eagles.
Oh my
I got
god,
Kelly. I have
so,
Kelly Green sequins, and then I also shout out to my guy Craig. He made like feather work, and he turned it into wings. And then I have like this, and then on the waistline it's like gold clouds. I think that's my favorite gear. That gear is awesome.
oh my god, Kelly, man, I'm aging myself. I was like, I know that color scheme anywhere, but part of the move set and part of what the character is is presentation? Like how often, like after a match or if there's an intermission, you're like, hey, I like your gear. Like how much of presentation has really made up to what you're doing things in the ring?
Well, I mean, the first thing people see is like what you're wearing when you come out there. So
Yeah,
like
of course.
you always want to make a good first impression. I mean, and everywhere I go, I always do get I get great compliments about the gear that I wear. That is, you know, you're not just playing a pro wrestler, you are a pro wrestler, so you have to look like a pro wrestler. And
Hmm.
I've never not looked like a pro wrestler in my career.
This is fun. I know, like, and it's what's nice about what you're doing recently, especially this year, is, and I'll let you summarize this. What has been? How would you describe your year so far with ROH being a thing, going out on the road? How would you describe your year so far?
It's no doubt in my mind. It's like the biggest year I've ever had in my wrestling career
Okay.
so far. I mean, what we're in April, so I mean it's just started. I got a lot more places I want to get to. I got a lot more promotions I want to see and be a part of. So I mean, we're just getting started. But I want this year to be known as like the year that LVJ started getting like the name LVJ. It's not just in Texas, but everyone kind of knows a little bit about LVJ. That's what I want this year to be.
Mm, it's great. Um, we'll end our conversation with this and picture yourself as an adolescent you. And if he hung out with you for a day with the light you've had and the career that you're doing things in the business or and in your personal life, what would that younger person feel like hanging out with you?
Uh, I mean, we probably get along. Yeah.
That's very neutral.
Maybe I my younger self kind of just like went with the flow a lot. I feel like my younger self was like
Okay.
maybe a little bit more of a follower. Kind of wanted to hang around like probably didn't know what he wanted as much as I think I know what I want now. Kind of just listen to what was like hip and trendy, kind of like I know he probably thought he knew what he wanted, but he was really just kind of following along in like what his friends were doing.
Hmm.
So if I could say anything to him, I'd say like, hey man, just don't whatever your dream actually is, like you should just follow that. Like don't listen to people tell you like you shouldn't do this or like if that's what you want to do, like see to it and like actually try to form a plan, try to start early. Start early on it. Don't just let that dream die and forget about it. Go chase it. You could chase it right now. You could chase it right now.
Hmm. What were some of those like roadblocks growing up that made you, I wouldn't say hold back, but rather like what were some of those roadblocks that you had to figure out as you're trying to just figuring out life in general before even coming into the wrestling?
Yeah. A big thing was like I don't think I knew what like I wanted to do really. I just felt like I knew what I wanted to do because people told me what I should be doing.
I see.
I was told over and over that you just got to go to college and get an education and like that'll solve a lot of the problems and it really didn't. I got an education. I went to college. I got a degree. I'm a graduate, but that didn't really open up any doors for me. And a lot of that maybe it's self-inflicted, I didn't have an internship or anything like that. And I didn't go out a lot, but that's because like when I was in college, I wasn't feeling it. And that's the biggest thing about me. When I'm not feeling something, I mean, the effort won't be there. You have to be invested in what you're doing. So, I mean, I got the degree, but that was really just to appease my parents because I know
Mm,
that's a big thing about me. Like, I don't want to disappoint the people who support me, who believe in me. So for them, like getting the degree was important. So I did that. But I knew like in my heart, that's not really like the path I wanted. Like these office jobs, that's like my biggest fear, like a 9 to 5 office job where I'm just stuck in a suit in an office having water cooler talk. That's not a life that's not a life I want to live. I want to, I remember, I remember my first memory really with wrestling was like seeing the build up to WrestleMania 28 with The Rock and John Cena in
hmm.
Miami, and I was like, "This is awesome! I gotta watch this." And I remember I bought I bought the pay-per-view. Really, the card was on the account, and then my parents' card was on the account. So I'm watching. I love it. And then like I'm just like I'm checking the mail, like trying to see like if the credit card statement will come in, and then like I drop my guard. I'm like, okay, it's not here. We're good. They're not gonna find out. And then one night they just yell at me to come downstairs, and they're like,
Oh,
what is this bill? What is WrestleMania? I'm like, I don't know.
it's a show, a really expensive show.
It's wrestling. It's wrestling. They tore my butt up, but it was worth it. It was worth it because
Yeah.
I mean, here I am now. I'm going to travel all over the world, meet tons of new and interesting people, making new friends. I've made lifelong friends out of this business, and this is something that I want to do. This is something that like this is my passion. I think this is what I
Mm.
was made for. This is kind of like my purpose right now. This is chase this dream and like see if it can become my long term future. And I think it can. I mean, 3 years in, and I've done some pretty incredible things already. So, I mean, if I stay the course, if I keep the work in, and if I keep trying to put my name out there and make a bigger name for myself, I think the only way is up, really.
How much of wrestling has really made you? Because I'm in that run too. I'm on the corporate side of things and figuring out life on your own. But for you to find, how has wrestling made you find a new lease in life past, the corporate 9 to 5? Like, how much of that has made you realize this is what I want? And you mentioned it kind of earlier. When did that calling for you to become a professional wrestler, to find that new lease in life?
A very specific moment. It was my time in at school. I was like either a junior, I think. And it was like during a spring break or whatever. And I just remember, like driving to my sister's house, and I just started like crying and like holding her and like crying because I just didn't know what I was doing with my life. I didn't know what I was gonna do in the future. I felt like I was just doing stuff just to do stuff. No real purpose or reason behind anything I was doing.
Mm.
And I remember my whole family, like they just got together that day, and like I'll always remember this. My mother told me like you need to make sure you're doing something that makes you happy, and what
Mm.
just need to find whatever that is, and like go chase that, do whatever makes you happy. And I'll always remember that because then that brought me back to the love I had for wrestling, and the desire I remember as a kid, like playing around with pillows and just like becoming a champion all by myself. And that's just how much I loved it. And that's what made me really take it serious and start looking up schools and trying to get into the business
Mm.
myself.
And did you? And you mentioned in graduating in college and training. Like, was there a balance, or you were just trying to go along with with the stuff that you're doing in the undergrad while you're still training
I mean,
in
I
wrestling
mean,
school?
at first I was gonna be a kinesiology major because I'm big into sports. Obviously, you could tell
Right.
by the gimmick. So I wanted to be an athletic trainer. I wanted to try to get like with maybe a professional sports team and do that route. But then once I started wrestling, because I also had a job, so I worked in retail. I was doing wrestling, and then I was also in kinesiology. And when those labs started up, when those kinesiology labs started up, I was like, "There's no way. It's not possible. This is not going to work out." I had switched that major up real quick to sociology, and then after that it got a little easier because then also with COVID there was a lot more you could do stuff online a lot more because of
Yeah.
COVID. So I mean it was just online classes, working at Nike, working at North Face, and then wrestling training.
And you just figured out the sweet spot at the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, I did most of my classes like in the morning, always in the morning. So then I had my shifts, and then right off my shifts, I would go and train. So I mean, some long days, but I mean, they were all worth it because I knew I was I was taking the right steps to get to the goal that I wanted in the end.
Yeah, and you wind up being in an ROH show. Like, after years of grinding, figuring things out along the way, and you're at the door. in the big leagues and seeing you in ROH. And Texas has given you so much opportunities here down the line and going out on the road and figuring not only your brand but also you as a person and figuring things out in this sport of professional business. So this was fun. It's always a pleasure, and and I always do this with every guest that whenever I can. We always talk like 2 seconds. We're like, "See you later." But to hear your story and to know that this year is going to be your year, and knowing that it's not going to be easy, but the reward and payoff of what you're doing, it's starting to show very gradually. It's always the next step to figuring out where you're at in the wrestling business.
Yeah, I mean, I think the best successes, like, they're never easy. You always have to work.
Mm.
Some of the hardest things in life turn out the greatest. So I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way. I love, I don't want to say I love the struggle, but I do appreciate the struggle because at the end of the day, you want to get to a point where like the struggle was all worth it. And that's what I
Mm.
think about all the time when I do this, I'll take these hits. I'll take these low bank accounts. I'll take these long nights. I'll take these frontier flights where my back is hurting and my neck. I'll take it all if I get to do what I love. I get to be around the people who have the same passion that I do, and we're all trying to make it to the top and make it to where like we don't have to have that 9 to 5, and this is what we do full time, and people around the world know us and they recognize us and they know how great we are as wrestlers.
This is fun. So we'll end our conversation here. And for those who are watching here on YouTube, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you've gone this far in this conversation, there are other interviews here on the YouTube channel. It's not just LVJ. There's so many people here that are willing to share their story in their wrestling career. So LVJ, it's a pleasure to have you on, and we'll end it here and we'll be on to the next one.